would be on the roster. But after speaking with people in the organization from the Bengals, I was actually at the airport, and I actually sent my bags over to the West Coast in Seattle. But I just remained here, and I'm very thankful that I did.
Is it true that Dhani Jones was kind of a mentor to you when he was here?
Definitely. 3 years ago, I was roommates with Dhani Jones for my entire rookie year, and it was his 11th and last year, and I learned a lot how he prepared even before the game. He already knew what to do before he stepped out there, and just how he would go out there and get to meetings early and know what to do. He was definitely a very cerebral player.
Are you a cerebral player? I mean, Marvin also said that you play the way you're coached. I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean that you don't deviate from the plan, that you don't freelance, or that you're intelligent enough that you understand exactly what you're supposed to do and you do it the way they ask you to?
Yes, I like to say that. I mean, I come out to practice on Wednesday, which is the start of our week, and I practice hard and listen to exactly what the coaches say, because I always assume that they know better than I do. I mean, they've been coaching for a long time. So I listen to what they say, and I do it in practice, and the better I can do it in practice, the more confident I am for the game on Sunday.
How much did your perspective of how good you can be and your confidence change, though, after Buffalo? I mean, after having the big game, did that change things for you?
Yeah. When I played at Buffalo, we had a couple goal line stands there, and I was right in the mix of it, and we were just jumping on the pile and trying to stop them from running in there, and it definitely made me confident just playing alongside with Vontez and James Harrison, Michael Johnson. Seeing those guys on your side will give anybody confidence.
When you have games when you rack up sacks and you start making plays, does that give you the idea that you're more a part of this team than you were when you were just a special teamer, though?
No, I wouldn't say it makes me feel more a part of the team. I would say that I'm doing it gives me confidence to say that, hey, I can do it, because a lot of times when you're not on defense as much on Sundays, you kind of could question yourself, like, man, can I actually do what they're coaching me to do? But when you get out there and you play within Coach Zimmer's defense and you make some plays, you're like, man, I can do a pretty good job.
Right.
Just because we saw the replays after the touchdown that tied up at 7-7. What is it like being at the end of that bench during a game and you got Mike Zimmer screaming at your entire group?
Well, thankfully, I was out there on special teams at the time, so I wasn't there to hear the brunt of it, but I did hear the aftermath when I got back. Vontez is the leader of our defense, I'd say. And I'll also say that with the NFL, sometimes a lot of it is a business, and I would say that he has a very genuine love for the game. Just a love to compete and not give up a yard, not give up an inch. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to your alma mater in the ACC championship game. Does this mean Duke is a football school now?
I think we're now a football school. We're football and basketball. Most wins in football history, so with 10 wins. So this is the best it's ever been at Duke, and I'm just riding this wave as a Duke alum. I can't get enough of it, especially when we beat Carolina. Just get to talk a little bit to Gio and Brandon Tate.
How different is Duke now? I mean, from your view of it, even from afar now, from what it was when you first showed up there, you know, at the beginning of your freshman year, because you went to a program that wasn't exactly standing tall.
Yeah, we weren't. We just weren't getting the job done as a whole. And junior year, in comes Coach David Cutcliffe, and he sets a new standard. And he grabs the bull by the horns, and ever since then, it's been different there. And I like to believe that some of the stuff that I did back then, that they're seeing the effects of it. And that's what some of the coaches tell me. I still go back there every off season. And it's awesome being back there. It's like a totally different campus.
We always hear that, if you're a football coach, you say, boy, I really hope the other teams do well because that'll help us. That'll attract attention to the school in general, the publicity, what have you. We'll be able to get better players. But there's a lot of places, Kentucky, Syracuse, and until recently Duke, that had terrific basketball programs, but not good football programs. How come?
I don't know. I know with basketball, you could probably get a couple All-Americans, and all of a sudden your season turns around. But with football, it's just it. And I know I'm biased because I'm a football player, but it's just such a team sport where if one person isn't doing their job, for example, on the offensive line, everyone could do a great job, and then it could be a tackle for a loss or possibly a turnover. Yeah. So it's such a team sport. It's very difficult.
I have a non-football question. Tell us a little bit about your foundation, Envision Children.
Okay, so I'm a board member for Envision Children, who's headed by Cheryl Gardner, who's actually here. And they do we do a whole lot, a lot of things that I'm not even a part of, because it's so many things that they do. But the main thing that I love about Envision Children is the after-school program, the extended day. Because growing up, I was a guy that was always in after-school programs from as far back as I can remember, and it greatly helped me with math, reading, and more important, just having someone, just having guidance after school. And also, summer enrichment programs. I've gone to that every year, probably every other week maybe, and I've gone, and now these kids, they don't have to be there during the summer, but their parents urge them to be there. And it's a great thing because if you're not doing that, you could be doing something else that isn't as constructive.
Plus, I know you're heavily involved in United Way also. I think last year or 2 years ago, you got to take a group of students to Washington. What was that like?
Oh, that was nice. I took 2 students from Taft High School. They came along. We went to Washington, D.C., and just getting a chance to know them better. And it was even greater just meeting people all across the country, high school students that were just exemplary, did everything just in such a great way. And, they really motivated me, honestly.
Was that always a part of something that you wanted to do if you made it to the league? Was that as much a part of it as playing the game for you, was being able to sort of do work like this and be able to affect communities by being a football player?
Definitely. I always wanted to be an example in anything I did. I always wanted to be a leader. And on the football field, I do think I'm a leader. I try to do things by example. And it's always better when you have such great leaders on the team. But in the community, I feel like I have to go out there and do something when I have free time. Such as this Tuesday, I have to get out there on Tuesdays and do something to give back, because I feel I've been given so much in my life. I have to do something, because I used to be one of those kids that had aspirations of going to a nice college and maybe being a professional athlete or something. And I always wanted to meet one, but I never did. So I try to make it a point to meet as many kids and tell them, hey, I play in the NFL, and school is very important, because it was important to me, so it should be important to you.
Pay it forward.
Absolutely love it. That's right. Let's hear it for Vinny Rey. Vinny Rey, great guy. We are not done talking with Vinny Rey either. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about the Colts and look a little bit at the AFC playoff picture with Vinny amongst all the rest of us up here. So come right back here to Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, presented by JosephAuto.com. All right, welcome back to Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes with Paul Daugherty, presented by JosephAuto.com. We're still here at the Moorline Lager House. I want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight. Hope you're having a good time. Obviously, you are drinking, so you must be doing okay. Yes. Bengals and beer is what we cheer for here. Well, time to look ahead, so let's do it. big week again here. They don't really stop for you guys, Vinny. I mean, you go to San Diego, a team fighting for its playoff life, and get a win out there. But here comes a division leader in Indianapolis, 8-4. Both you guys tied for that 3rd and 4th seed. A lot on the line. For you guys as a defense, when you're talking about Indianapolis, it starts with stopping Andrew Luck. When you start preparation and looking at him, what's the biggest thing that sticks out to you about him?
Well, he can sit in the pocket. He's a big guy, pretty tall, but also pretty big guy, and he has good field vision. Just from what I've seen, I've only seen a little bit so far, but if things break down, I've seen him run, and I've seen 31 there at running back.
Yep.
And they've been able to win games, and they've beaten some big time teams. That's what I know. They beat Seattle. They beat San Francisco. So they beat some really good teams.
Let me get back to this defense in general, because I think fans want to talk more about you than they do about Indianapolis. Play a little word association. I'll give you a name, and you give me 1 or 2 words to describe that person. All right?
Oh, okay.
All right. You went to Duke. We're testing your cerebral ability here now, Vinny.
Okay.
I say Vontez Burfict. You say
Passionate.
good. James Harrison.
Tough.
Mike Zimmer.
Discipline.
Leon Hall.
Dependable.
Marvin Lewis.
Leader.
The University of North Carolina.
Average.
Very good.
It has to make you feel pretty good. Everyone's getting to see Vinny Rey when, unfortunately Ray Maluga was out. What's it like? Everyone excited to see you take the field, wants you to get more playing time. How's it feel? Kind of nice.
It feels good. It feels good winning 2 games and being on defense, being able to contribute, and getting Ray back is great because we all do different things very well, and we needed Ray back, and I'm glad to have him back.
What is it like, Vinny, being in that room? Because, you've been here 4 seasons now, but that linebacker room with Paulie G is almost like the cathedral of undrafted guys. You got the patron saint in James Harrison. You got the new guy in Vontez. You got Jason DeMonch. That is the group where it just seems like the diamonds in the rough and the undrafted guys have come from.
Yeah. I look at a guy like James Harrison, Vontez Burfict, even, and I'm just like, man, how did these guys go undrafted? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. And secondly, I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm on their side because they're unbelievable competitors. And when I say that, it's not just on Sundays; it's throughout the week. Vontez in meeting rooms, he knows exactly what to do. He hears from the coach, and he does it on the field. And he calls me a smart player, but I think he's a smart player also.
Well, Zimmer emphasizes frequently that reminds you that nobody wanted you. You're the guys that nobody wanted. Did you hear that a lot? Does that give you an edge? Do you need that kind of thing, kind of a chip on your shoulder?
Honestly, yes. Personally, it means it's true. You remember what you were, what people thought you were, and remembering that will make you continue to work hard. You'll never want to take a day off because when you think of that, you're like, man, I have to push myself. And we all kind of feel that way. All of us on defense, we have something in the back of our minds that are telling us we need to keep working.
So I heard a rumor that you can do some impressions of some of your teammates. This was going around. I don't know which ones you do best. Do you have one that's your go-to impression that you do? 'Cause I know you clearly do by the way you react to that. It's got.
No, I don't have one off the top of my head.
I refuse to believe it.
Come on.
Marvin Jones came on here and sang his own original song for us. Surely you could give us a little impression of somebody. I know you've got something in you.
I'm sorry. I'm
It's all
sorry.
right.
Top of
We
the
still
top.
like you, Vinny. We still like you, Vinny. Even though you didn't come through, what we will do, we will show up in the locker room tomorrow. You have all night to think about it. We'll show up with the video. We'll do it, and we'll play it on the show next week. Because I know that you probably got it in you. There's no way that this is something that just was a false rumor spread.
Yes, we could do that. I want to have some time to think about it.
All right, we've got next week. Vinny Rey impressions will be our video.
And I also heard you're kind of a baseball fan. New York Mets, favorite
Yes.
team.
Mm-hmm.
How long?
I don't know. As long as I can remember.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
Did you attend any Reds games though?
Yeah, I go to Reds games still. I'm now a Reds fan also.
Wear two hats.
Yeah, I wear two hats, so I'm definitely not a Yankees fan.
That's good.
Well, yeah, growing up in Queens, you have no choice, I guess, to be a Mets fan.
Because the original Shea Stadium was right there in Queens, and
Right.
Citi Field right now is in Queens.
There you go. Yeah. Favorite player?
Favorite Mets player?
Yeah,
David Wright.
David Wright. Yeah, well, great choice.
So which one do you like better? Do you like New City Field or Shea Stadium or?
Shea Stadium. Citi Field is huge, and everything looks all pretty, but it's something about going to Shea Stadium on the train and sitting with my father and my younger brother and eating some Cracker Jacks.
It's got to be the memories because that place is a dump.
Yeah.
It's just really, I'm sorry, I mean, Chase Stadium's
Does it feel awkward going to games without planes coming directly over top? I mean, that was the signature of Shea Stadium back in the day was the planes coming right over top.
Yeah, I used to always see them. I've only been to one game in Citi Field, so yeah, that Shea Stadium, we'd always see planes. Me and my brother would be pointing them out.
I was there one day. I worked at Newsday, so I was out on Long Island, so I would cover the Mets on occasion. And I was there one day when all the toilets overflowed, and we pretty much decided that was kind of a metaphor for Shea Stadium. You know what I mean?
Man, his favorite place to be, and you have to tell that
Memories.
story
I
about how
get the
terrible it was when
memories.
the toilets overflowed.
You're never coming back here.
Well, wait, we want to thank Vinny Rey for coming out here. Everybody, let's hear it for Vinny Rey. It's been fantastic. Everybody loves all the work you do on and off the field, so thanks ton for coming out. But we're not quite done yet. We're going to come back. Doc's going to talk, and Joe and I are going to yell at each other a little bit. We'll try to keep it contained because he's sick, so I'll take it easy on him. But we'll be right back here, Cincinnati.com Sports Beyond the Stripes with Paul Doctor, presented by JoeSpotto.com.